Good day. I am Sarah Omega, the founder and the executive director of a Kenyan NGO called Let's End Fistula Initiative. I'm so pleased today to be sharing my story with you, the story that led to the important work that I'm involved in. I lost my parents when I was at the age of 11. And of course, that brought a drastic change in my life and the lives of my siblings. I got disadvantaged in so many ways that I couldn't pursue my academic dreams. And in that process, I encountered the physical act of rape, the act that led to unwanted pregnancy at the age of 19. I suffered, the emotional pain, still struggling to understand why a religious leader would have turned against me and do such an ugly act to me instead of, caring for me, especially being an orphan. I carried my pregnancy without any complications until the time of delivery. So I labored at home alone for about 18 hours. But when it was so clear that I needed medical intervention, I was taken to the nearest health facility, which was a couple of miles away. And on reaching the facility, I didn't have, the maternity fee. Nobody really cared. So I ended up laboring alone for over 10 hours until a good Samaritan who was within the facility came to my rescue. By the time he was coming to my rescue, I had already lost my baby. So I was referred to the next healthcare facility. And on reaching there, they removed the dead baby through cesarean section to a baby boy who weighed around 4.8 kilos. And for me, things were normal until the following morning. When I woke up, I realized my bed was wet, yet I had a catheter. But of course, I didn't know what to expect at that point. Then I actually reached out to one of the medical staff to inquire whether what I was seeing or experiencing was okay. And I was taken to an examination room. Only here were whispers from the medical staff that she has a fistula. And by that time, I didn't understand what fistula was. And unfortunately, I remained hospitalized for 2 months, then later discharged with a hopeless message. And I would say my life was never the same. I'm now left with a childbirth injury that took a toll on my life. It changed my life completely. I felt like I've been cut off from the rest of the world. I lost relationships. I couldn't go out anymore. I lived in isolation because even before you are isolated, you isolate yourself. I couldn't go to social places. My nights were nights of sharing tears because of the pain from the genital source. And I would say, honestly, for me, I stopped living. I lived in my own small world. Unfortunately, I stayed in my own small world for 12 years without knowing that my condition was treatable here in Kenya. Life was difficult. It sent me into depression. I sunk into depression that made me to be admitted in a psychiatric ward. And while I was undergoing treatment for my depression is when my problem was disclosed, I got the message of hope that my condition was treatable in the same health facility. I later got treated, and the surgery was successful. I kept on asking my doctor because I didn't understand, because I kept on asking him, am I the first person he's seeing with the condition that I had? And, to my surprise, he kept on telling me, you know what, I've treated so many women with the same condition. Because for me, just being wheeled into the operating theater and being told, if it is successful, then you'll be dry. I couldn't even, imagine what being dry again would look like. So after 14 days, the dye test was done. It turned out negative. To me, I was dry. I can't even explain how it felt when I had to go and squat and pass urine again like a woman after not being able to do that in 12 years. I've always described that day. For me, it was a rebirth. I was alive again. I felt like I had been reminded of what it felt to be a woman. And it is the greatest gift that I would say the medical world gave to me. And seeing what the kind of transformation that surgical treatment brought in my life, I purposed that I was going to use my second chance to help other hundreds of thousands of women suffering in silence the same way I did. I made a choice that I'll use my story to reach out to other women who are suffering in silence, to tell them that there's still hope, that there's no need of them taking their lives, that their conditions can be corrected. They can live a normal life again. And that is what I've done every single day since my surgical repair in 2007.